Thanks for joining us, guys, on another day of Llama Life. Today we're going to be cooking pizza in a Dutch oven. It's something that I do all the time in the backcountry for our guests, for friends and family, and every once in a while on my hunting trips when I have a long space of time back in the backcountry. It's a recipe that my grandfather taught me and that all of his scouts that he used to teach and mentor along the way also learned how to do. And this is kind of a variation. It's a quick variation based upon easy to access goods from the grocery store. So we're going to do that variation of it today versus making our dough and everything from scratch. A really cool recipe. Hopefully you guys like it. So we're going to go ahead and dig in on making Dutch oven pizza. So thanks for tuning in and watching Kirsten and Bo's Backcountry Kitchen. Okay, so first step is kind of clearing off your area. Obviously you want to try to get out of the wind. We're doing that at my house today. It's kind of been a really wet day. It's middle of January and it's been raining like crazy, and we all need a little spirit boost. So nothing like eating pizza for dinner as a family to brighten your spirits a little bit. So we're gonna do it here at the house tonight. Pretty excited to cook Kirsten and Wade some pizza. And so we got a spot cleared off. It's kind of step one. I'm gonna lay some tin foil down to kind of help bring up some heat into the coals, and then we'll get the charcoal started. So got our space cleared. Gonna go ahead and lay down some tin foil, and then we'll get our briquettes started. So all right, so what we want to do is kind of make an area. We're just gonna make one pizza today, one out of a 10-inch Dutch oven. So that's probably big enough space, and then I'm just gonna kind of double line it. And we're officially out of tin foil. Cool. So now we'll get some briquettes, and this is a pretty simple thing to do. That's about all the briquettes I have left, which is probably just barely enough to efficiently do this pizza. So that's roughly probably 25-30 briquettes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start them, and once we get these little puppies started, then we will go inside and bring out all the ingredients and show you those and talk to you about those a little bit. So we'll get these things started and then go to the next step of getting our Dutch oven prepped. So our charcoal briquettes are almost done, and we've got our little backcountry table set up here. This is a roll table. It's really cool for backcountry trips or base camps. And so what we're going to be using today, we have an aluminum Dutch oven. These little puppies are super lightweight. This is a 10-inch, and we'll put a link below where you can buy all the ingredients or buy all the equipment that we're using today. This is GSI. I really like this amazing little aluminum Dutch oven. One thing to note about the 10-inch Dutch oven that GSI makes, it does not have any legs on it. The 12-inch does, the 10-inch doesn't. So what you need to do when you purchase this 10-inch is also make sure you get a little some ground legs for it. That way you can actually put charcoals underneath of it and still be able to have enough heat to be able to heat the bottom. So it's a lot better than setting it directly on top. When you set it directly on top without legs, it just tends to get too hot and concentrates the heat in one part of the bottom. So if you're gonna use the 10-inch, I would definitely recommend getting the legs. And this is enough for our family, so that's why we're just doing a 10-inch today. Family of 3 here. So I open up my Dutch oven, and then what I'll do is I just get a little rag, and I'm gonna kind of coat the inside of my Dutch oven and then also the lid just a little bit. I've got avocado oil. You can use pretty much any oil. I like using avocado oil, sunflower oil, or olive oil. The reason why I'm using avocado oil is just because it's almost out and has barely enough to probably get the job done. Okay, I've got a little oil, put on a rag, and you don't want to go too thin with the oil. You want to make sure you have enough. And the reason why we're using the oil is it kind of helps brown put a nice browning on the crust, and then also helps us to actually get the pizza out of the Dutch oven when the time comes. So I coat the bottom, I coat the sides, and I feel pretty comfortable with that. I'm just gonna do a little bit on the top of the lid here, just in case it rises too much and gets on top here, just so it'd be easy. I try to stay away from the edges, about 1 inch or 2. So just a little bit of oil on everything. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is break this little puppy open. And so this is our pie crust, or our pizza pie crust. So what you can do is you can actually make your own crust. In the backcountry, a lot of times they just don't have the opportunity to. And if I'm doing Dutch oven pizza in the backcountry, I'll typically like to do it the first night and make my own dough. Or if I'm gonna do it later on in the trip, if you're in the backcountry, like night 4 or 5, this is a good way to go. It's easy to keep refrigerated. It stays in the container the whole time. And if you are gonna put it on ice or anything like that, you kinda wanna put a Ziploc bag around it to keep it from moisture going through the cardboard here. So we'll break this open, and then we'll just go right to put it into the pan and shape in our pie crust. So all right, well, there's our pizza dough. It's really cold. So this is winter camping type scenario, making Dutch oven pizza. This is a really simple way to make it. And you can do the same thing if you want to at home and just make it in a Dutch oven, throw it in the oven. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep this. There we go. What I'm trying to do is kind of combine the dough and make it in a circular pattern because our Dutch oven is circular. So just kind of kneading it into a nice ball, and then I'll start to spread out the dough here. The dough works better if you can usually open up the package before you use it, especially in the winter, and try to let it warm up. It'll spread easier, and it'll rise a little bit. So typically what I like to do is get this baby all shaped up, throw her in the Dutch oven. And now what I'm gonna do is kind of just hand knead it in the pot. So that's kind of how it's gonna start. Basically, I'm gonna spread it all the way to the corners and build a little bit of a crust. So I'll work on that, and once I kind of get it in shape, I'll show you guys again what it looks like. Okay guys, so I pretty much got this thing in shape. Just needs a little bit more work. So you can see it's kind of perfectly round. Needs to go to the edges a little more. So now what I'm gonna do is spread out my charcoals. I'm gonna heat up my dough for 10 or 15 minutes to get a little bit of rise out of it since it's so cold. So I'll put on my lid. I'll get my legs, and we're gonna go over here and spread out the coals and basically set this thing up just like we're gonna do when we're cooking. So I'm gonna put about 10 or so on the bottom in a nice pattern. We'll go around the outside, and then we'll kind of do an inner circle. And then we'll put the rest on the top. So I'll just kind of count out kind of what I think I want for the bottom. Okay, that should probably work just fine. She's a little bit smoky still. And whatever you do, you just kind of want it to be pretty even. Okay, so it looks like I got about 12 of these briquettes down on the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my, my pot there on the bottom. And then I'm actually gonna put some on my top here. And we're not gonna put, we'll kind of just space all these briquettes on here. And once we get these briquettes on, they're kind of evenly spaced, we'll put our timer on. It keeps raining, and our briquettes don't like that too much. So it looks like I've got 12 on the bottom. Looks like I got about 18 on top. That's probably pretty much, I can't really get much more on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my timer here on my phone, and I'm gonna check it in 5 minutes or so. Start. So we'll check it in 5 minutes, just kind of see how our, if we're getting any rise out of the crust. And if we are, and it looks good, then we're gonna just go to the next step, and we'll go ahead and pull everything off and start putting on all our sauce and stuff. So yeah, we're just making it along here. So we'll give it 5 minutes and we'll come back in and check on it. So it did kind of just what we wanted it to. So I'm gonna put this over here, let that cool down just for a second. So what I'm gonna do is I don't want to try to touch my pan. Oh yeah, that's much easier to work with. Wow. Yeah, so heating it up was a great idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, take that off of there. I'll set it down here on the ground. I'm gonna kind of finish shaping this thing up. Oh man, that was worked out nice. Pretty good. Always wash your hands before you do this, FYI. I'm a big freak about being clean in the backcountry. Wash your hands, especially when you're cooking for other people, even yourself. It's, I think, a huge deal. Man, that just warmed up perfectly. Sure was cold when I brought it out here. All right, we almost have a crust formed here. We'll kind of just form the lip to keep the sauce in. I'm just kind of using my finger and punching it around, helping spread it out. All right, and the bottom of the dough, I want it to kind of be even, just like you're eating a pizza from Domino's or Papa Murphy's or wherever. So you want it to fit nice. Cool. That looks like it's gonna work out great. I got one spot of the crust that doesn't look so pretty. All right. The bottom's nice and cooled down. I'm gonna set it here next to my cutting board. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put some pizza sauce on here. So I always tend to put more pizza sauce on than less. So I kind of just spread it on. I just like pizza sauce, it's always good. But if you don't use it all on your pizza, then you can use it to dip in later if you'd like. So a nice even coat. And this is Ragu pizza sauce. You can buy lots of different stuff. We bought everything in a can because there's a little bit, it was all on sale, I think. So it's a good way to go. Man, the smell of pizza is awesome. If that doesn't get you excited in the backcountry, you need to get shocked. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is you can do your pizza and stuff in any order you want. I got some Pearl simple olives here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this can. I'm gonna drain it just a little bit. And since I'm cooking this for myself and for my little boy, I'm gonna go ahead and steal a couple of these for the chef. All right. So I'm just gonna cut these little guys. Who doesn't like the olives, right? So once you kind of get your stuff cut, you can put whatever toppings you want on here. I'm a big fan of olives, jalapeños, pepperonis, and lots of cheese. I typically like to put all my cheese on first after my sauce. So that fills maybe just a few more olives. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and put some cheese on. I got some mozzarella cheese here. Some good old Great Value. I don't like to put any cheese on the crust portion of the pizza. Try to make sure it's all as even as possible. Again, it's a pretty simple recipe. Pretty easy to do in the backcountry. If you're using 2 to 3 people, 10 inches is usually enough, especially if you have some hors d'oeuvres. But if you're looking to feed a big group of people, you might want to do a deep dish Dutch oven on a 12-inch or a 14-inch. Okay, so now we got some pepperoni. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this package in half because that's about all I'm gonna use. And then we'll use the other half in the house for something later. So we cut our package in half. We'll take off the plastic here. I think I got it all off. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut the pepperoni slices. So I do some thick and some thin just for fun. Some people probably like it to be more consistent, but it's always nice to get a big chunk now and then. That's probably almost about enough. Okay, so put that away. Now we got plenty of cheese. Now I'll start putting my toppings on the pizza here. Give you guys a little bit better view of the pizza. This is dried pepperoni. I like the way that it cooks up better, just more than other types of pepperoni. So believe it or not, when you get cooking this, everything's going to shrink up a little bit. So you kind of want to put a little more than you would normally anticipate. These olives taste similar to just black olives, but they're just a little bit better. They're not like your traditional queen olives that are green. So if you're saying, oh gross, green olives, these are really actually phenomenal. All right, now Wade and Kirsten don't like jalapeños. I don't have my fork out here, so we're gonna use a knife. Grab some jalapeños. Jalapeno. Put these on just kind of one piece of the pizza, where about one good slice will be. It's kind of like a pizza pie, you know. It ends up being a pretty decent sized pizza. A little more cheese on top for good measure. And that's our pizza. It's pretty much ready to go. So we're gonna take this 10-inch Dutch oven, our pizza. We're gonna set it back on the coals. Try to evenly place it. That feels nice. And then we'll grab our lid here. Check our bottom. Everything's clean. Go ahead and set it on top. So I think I said we have 18 to 20 on top and about 12 on the bottom. And as it starts to cook now, I'll kind of monitor that a little bit. But we should be in good shape. So the fastest I've ever cooked one, I had too many coals in it. Let's see here. So the fastest I've ever cooked one, we had too many coals on. I had too many coals on it, and that took about 25 minutes. I'm guessing minimum 30, more like 40, 45 minutes, but we'll just kind of see. So I'm going to start my timer here, and I'm going to check it in probably at least 15 minutes, and that will kind of give me a good idea of where I'm going, how my heat is, and depending on how many coals you have, how hot they are, you know, your surface that you're cooking on, all kind of dictates how long it takes. So yeah, I'm guessing a 35 to 40 minute cook time on this, but we'll just keep checking. And the more cheese and the thicker dough you have, and the more toppings you have, the longer it takes. So we'll go ahead and clean up some of our mess here, go inside, maybe eat some olives with Wade, and wait for this baby to cook and come check it at 15 minutes. It's cold out here. Oh man, look at those mountains. That was a beautiful, nice evening. It's been a terrible, ugly day all day, so it's nice for it to clear up. So we forgot to check it at 15 minutes because we were inside munching on some olives and doing some other projects. So it's actually 20 minutes in, and we're gonna take a look at it. So I got a knife out, so we kind of peel the sides away and look at it a little bit, and then we'll pull the top off. All right, here we go. All right. It smells so good. Check the dough. She's coming along. Okay, I need looking for just a little more. It's almost there. I say another 5, maybe 5 to 8 minutes, and it'll be pretty much done. So I'm gonna move a few of the coals to the center, just to kind of go right to the center of the pizza, and that's kind of your most uncooked area most of the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and push some of those coals that way, and hopefully help cook that center a little more. All right. Oh yeah. Kind of cheating a little bit. Okay, we're gonna let it go 4 more minutes, and then we're gonna pull it off. We're right at 33 minutes, so I'm gonna take all the coals off and put them back on the bottom here, and then we'll clean off the lid to the best of our ability. So we're gonna take this into the house, and hopefully my timing was correct and that I did this right. Okay. All right, so we're gonna bring this baby in the house. Hopefully Kirsten and Wade can enjoy it with me. All right. Cool. That pot is very, very hot. I'm gonna go get some leather gloves. I'll be back.
We're gonna leave that one today.
Okay, Wade. This is Wade's first Dutch oven pizza. Man, it smells good. This is a thick crust, by the way. All right. Okay, Wade. This is Wade's first Dutch oven pizza. Man, it smells good. This is a thick crust, by the way. All right. Okay. Oh, all right. It smells just like I wanted it to. This is officially a pizza pie. All right. Crust's perfect. Dad gets the big piece.
I see, that's why you didn't cut it all the way through.
Hey, hey. And that's how to cook pizza in the Dutch oven in the backcountry. So hopefully you guys liked it. We'll put the recipe in the description below. Thanks for watching. We had fun making the video. Now we're gonna finish this pizza pie off. So share and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of Llama Life.